Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. Today I'm reviewing Alita, Battle Angel. This was directed by Rodriquez. Stars Rosa Salazar, Christoph Waltz, Jennifer Connelly, Mahershala Ali, and Edward Norton. It's a story of Alita, a deactivated female cyborg, and she is found by Dr. Ido, a cyber surgeon who ultimately finds the remains of her cyborg body and rebuilds her and brings her back to life. And it's really about her awakening in a world she's not familiar with. She doesn't remember who she is or where she came from. Dr. Ida takes her under his wing and tries to teach her and tries to help her understand who she is and where she fits in the world. And he's not quite what he seems either. She's ultimately a heart and soul of a young woman with an extraordinary past. As the film goes on, she starts to remember certain things about who she is and where she comes from. And there's a group of bounty hunters as well as villains in this film that are trying to ultimately capture her and take her parts for what they want to use her for. It ultimately looks at the quite extraordinary journey that Alita goes on, the people she interacts with, the experiences that she has, and ultimately this all leads to quite an exciting sort of battle and discovery towards the end of the film. Look, I kind of liked this film. I liked aspects of this film. I didn't love everything, and there were some things I struggled a little bit with. But I thought I'd start with the positives, the things I did enjoy. I really loved the look of the film. I think the visual effects were really fantastic. The design of the city and the world that we're able to see and look at these characters inhabiting. I really liked the designs of the robotic, half robots, half human creatures. And just the futuristic look of things and the roboticness of particular characters. I liked Christoph Waltz was really good, one of the best roles he's had in quite a while. I thought he was quite solid in this role. Jennifer Connelly, it's good to see her in a film again, and I think she does a solid job here. Rosa Salazar, I think, is quite interesting in this film, and she, as the film goes on, she gets better and better, and I think she plays a really interesting character. And she's an actress, I think, that with the right film, the right director, she can actually really shine and is one to look out for, I think. I've liked her ever since the second Maze Runner, Scorched Earth. But what they've done with her in here is the motion capture. So they've got the actress with the rig on that she wears, and they motion captured her to look at it, as the anime. And this is based upon a classic manga anime. And as far as I was aware, I haven't read the manga graphic novel at all, but as far as I'm aware, it's a very faithful adaptation. Enjoying watching her rise and get better and remember who she is and where she came from, and to ultimately become sort of a hero in the end. And I kind of liked that. I liked a lot of aspects of that. It's the first really big film Robert Rodriguez has directed. He's done a variety of other films, and Sin City was quite big, but this is his biggest commercial film, and it's really the first time of him directing outside of TV and returning back to filmmaking here. James Cameron was highly involved in this film, and it's really a collaboration between these two men to bring this to life. I don't know if this is going to be for everyone, but I enjoyed what I did see. Didn't love everything, but there was quite a lot I did enjoy from it. Film I'd watch again, eventually down the track, and I'd probably own on DVD because I thought it was entertaining and fun in parts, and I sort of was invested as much as I could be in this film, and I enjoyed that part to it. Now, the things I didn't quite like or enjoy as much. There's a forced love story, a cliched young adult sort of love story between Alita and Hugo, played by Gunnm Johnson, and I just didn't like it. I didn't buy it. There's even a scene where they kiss in the rain. I thought it was a bit too much. I didn't think they really needed that in there. And it felt like, his film felt a lot like Mortal Engines. I think it was a little better visually and story-wise than Mortal Engines, but I would put it on the same plane as that. That it was interesting, but it wasn't great. And this sort of falls into that, unfortunately, as well. I thought some of the characters were a bit thin, and it took quite a while for me to get into this film. It wasn't until about half an hour in that I started to really invest in this particular film. There's a particular fight sequence that takes place where you get to see her in action, and I liked that aspect, and I liked that scene, and that sort of threw me into the world. And I liked everybody in it. Mahershala Ali, I think, did a really solid job as playing Vector, which is kind of the villain of the piece, or one of the villains. There's a lot of Jackie Earle Haley plays a particular character, which is really great. Edward Norton's in it. He doesn't have any lines, but he plays a particular character. And it's sort of setting up for a sequel in a way, and I think that's a bad choice. I think they shouldn't set up for sequels. What they should do is just to have a standalone movie, and if it does well, then look at sequels. But it just felt, it ended in such a way that looks like it would go on to a sequel, but if it doesn't make enough money, we won't see any more of it. And I think it needed to be a closed-ended story. I think some of the acting wasn't great. Some of the visual effects towards the end of the film were suffering a little bit, but most of the visual effects were quite good, I do admit. I don't know what I was expecting from it, but it just didn't reach what I expected it to be. Even though it's a fun and interesting idea, and I did enjoy a lot of aspects to it, it still wasn't as good as I expected it to be, or I felt it could be. I'm just a bit over the forced romances in movies. I just think they're unneeded, and there always has to be a kiss between the two characters, and it happens so much. I like the movies where it doesn't happen. You think it's going to and it doesn't, such as Bumblebee and Mortal Engines. It doesn't happen like the way that you expect it to, and I kind of like that. Another criticism I had is I had to keep reminding myself that this was a Robert Rodriguez film, not a Spielberg movie, because it really felt like a Spielberg movie. It felt like a movie he would do. It felt a lot like Ready Player One without the computer game aspect to it, but it had the futuristic feel, and it had fun moments, it had a little cliched characters, and it had that humour that Spielberg uses a lot. It never really felt like a Robert Rodriguez film. It felt more like a Spielberg film, and I think that was a little criticism I have as well. Final verdict. Look, if you like sort of a fun, entertaining film with an interesting concept and sort of a popcorn movie, this is ultimately what this is. You'll probably enjoy this. If you're a fan of Robert Rodriguez, or you just like a fun, entertaining movie, you'll probably get a lot out of this. I don't know if it's going to be for everyone, and I don't know if it's going to do really well at the box office, but it is an entertaining and fun film, and I did get a little bit out of what I did see. I'm going to give Alita, Battle Angel, 4 out of 5. I thought it was interesting and fun. It wasn't great, and it could have been better, but I did enjoy what I did see. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please hit subscribe down the bottom. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.